My best friend think that I am his personal punching bag and punched me in the stomach was just joking around, so I cut him out of my life. Bob and I have been best friends for years now, and neither of us have ever considered being anything more than that. When Bob first started dating his last girlfriend, she began to get a little paranoid that there was more going on between us. So in order to prove to her that nothing was going on, he started treating me more like a kid brother. He would tease me and pick on me like any older brother would do. Eventually, she was comfortable with our friendship. However, his pranks have not stopped with her comfort. His joking around has gotten to the point of him physically hurting me, and no matter what I say, he just plays it off. The two main things that he does on a constant basis is grab my fingers and bend them backwards and shove his hands in my face. When he bends my fingers backwards, I literally scream because it hurts so much, and he thinks it's hilarious. One night when we were drinking, he bent my fingers back for so long I was on the verge of tears, and I thought he had actually broken my fingers. He also constantly shoves his hands in my face, which mostly results in him actually slapping my face or hitting my nose. He always does this randomly because he thinks it is funny. It has made me very nervous to even sit beside him because I am afraid at any moment he's going to slap me in the face. He always laughs these off, and he's never doing these things maliciously. He just genuinely thinks he is just teasing me. The most recent time, and the biggest eye-opener for me, was this New Year's. I had too much to drink and I told him I was sick and I wanted to leave. He reared back and punched me in the stomach and started laughing because he thought I was going to throw up. I seem to be his little punching bag in a sense. I have tried telling him I do not think any of that is funny and that it hurts, and he always says, "That doesn't hurt." I do not know what to do at this point because he is a very good friend to me besides this, and I just want to hang out with him without him joking around and hurting me. Update 1 year later. It has been about a year, but a lot has happened. I told him to stop touching me in any form, that I did not think it was funny, and that it hurt. I told him he was acting abusive. He seemed very upset that I saw it that way, and said he would stop. About midsummer, I had a friend and her husband that were moving to a faraway state. This trip caused me to cut Bob out of my life altogether. Bob kept making jokes about how I looked like a dyke unloading furniture, and he would walk up and punch me in the stomach or try to make me drop furniture. Very immature. Kelly and her husband ended up not liking the area they were moving to, so Bob and I decided to go to the city to let them have some alone time and talk. I had an extremely sore throat that whole day. Not a big deal. I just didn't feel very good. The whole time Bob and I were walking around the city, he was being very rude to me. When we left the city is when things went downhill really fast. Bob was making nasty comments about how he knows what would help my sore throat. Very gross and forward sexual comments. I immediately shut down and was like, "That is disgusting. Do not talk to me like that." I don't really know what happened next after that or what escalated this, but he basically got outrageously angry with me to the point where it escalated to physical violence. He was spitting and blowing snot into his hand and slapping it onto my face and neck, calling me a cunt, a bitch, said he was going to slit my throat and beat me until I bled. He was driving insanely fast, and swerving the car freaked me out, etc. We pulled over at a fast food restaurant, and he got out of the car and was yelling at me so aggressively that people were starting to come outside and watch. I sat in the car and waited. I immediately texted a guy friend and told him what Bob was doing. Bob got back in the car and was seriously trying to act like nothing happened, like he didn't just completely snap on me. I calmly told him, "If you ever touch me or hurt me again, you will fucking regret it for the rest of your life." He told Kelly's husband that he snapped like this because I had gum in my mouth and I know how much gum grosses him out. He just said that he called me a bitch. He left most of what actually happened. He thought that me chewing gum justified this behavior. I had put it in my mouth because my throat hurt. Kelly and her husband ended up going back to our hometown, so I rode back home with Kelly. I was stressing out about having to possibly ride back for 15 hours with Bob. After I got home, I cut all contact from him. He still does not understand why he is cut out now. He recently sent me a text message that apologized about him being an asshole in Texas, and that he didn't talk to anyone like that, etc. He seriously downplays what he said and did to this day. I have no intentions of ever allowing him back into my life.